The year is 2040. Your groceries are scanned and bagged by an AI-powered robot. You can even buy one to clean your house, cook your meals, even walk your dog. Labour jobs? Gone. Replaced by faster, cheaper machines. People started shifting careers to art, writing, philosophy, chasing meaning over routine. But the ones who couldn't pivot? They're left behind. Some were excited. Finally, humanity could focus on creativity, evolution, purpose, until they realised something. They're competing with AI too. Today we're going to be exploring both sides of the AI debate. This isn't a witch hunt. I'm not for or fully against, and within reasons, of course it can do incredible things. But I'd be lying if I said that it didn't make me a bit scared and uneasy with how fast everything went from 0 to 100 with it. And suddenly it's everywhere. What does the future look like for us now, especially creatives? So, grab a cold bevy, sit back, and let's talk some shit. You check your TikTok, and someone's tagged you in a post. This is your work? You check it, and your stomach drops. Someone recreated your idea almost perfectly, except it's riddled with AI elements, and suddenly you're wondering, did AI just steal from me? This is a real fear that a lot of us creatives are living with right now. Not knowing if our stories, our art, our words are being used to train the AI systems that people are able to use and regurgitate our ideas back to them as their own. But how real is this fear? How is AI actually trained? And can this kind of thing really happen? If your work is part of the database used to train an AI program, then yes, the possibility stands that it could regurgitate your work in another form to somebody else. AI doesn't create something new. It remixes what it's trained on and what you give it. So the fear, it's valid, and I feel it in a lot of different ways. But the real question is we have to ask is, what databases is AI being trained on? From my research, what I can tell, AI is trained on what's public domain and things a platform or company already owns. Reddit content, licensed imagery libraries, or public domain materials. If you're an author publishing on KDP or an artist who posts on Pinterest, the question shouldn't be, is AI stealing our work? But is the company or platform that we're trusting selling our work to the companies who own AI to be trained on? AI isn't sentient, it doesn't have the capacity to steal, but companies do have the capacity to sell or license your work for it to be trained on. And that to me is the real underlying problem that needs oversight and disclosure. 40 jobs that AI can do off one site just alone. So yeah, the shift is going to impact a lot of people across a lot of different industries, especially if it's not handled with boundaries and ethics. Because here's the question I keep asking myself. If AI can do it all for us, what's left for humans to aspire to? On the other side of the coin, technological advancement has always put people out of jobs. Every leap forward removes something old. When the light bulb was invented, the man who lit the street lights, he lost his job. When cars were invented, stable hands were replaced. And when the internet was born, it changed entire industries overnight. Maybe AI is taking jobs, but what is the future going to look like? What jobs will we have? What is going to be left for us to do now? You finally have one, the newest model of AI handmade, and she's perfect. She cooks for you, folds your laundry, even gives you massages when you ask. For the first time, you have all the free time in the world to do whatever you like. So you grab your controller, scroll on YouTube, live life easy. Then the house goes dark. You call her name. She's programmed to answer, but silence. The hairs on the back of your neck rise. You step into the hallway. She's there, standing still, staring into nothing. Minutes feel like hours. Then, her head snaps towards you. This used to be the stuff of science fiction, but yet here we are at the birth of something that we only thought belonged in movies and books. That's amazing in its own way, but also terrifying. And what I just described, it could be our distant future. How close are we actually for that little story to become reality? That has to depend on how something becomes sentient, for one. I don't believe AI can do that in the same way we are sentient. We have a soul. I believe that we have a soul. we have a conscience and it doesn't. It has a programming and wiring. But could it become so advanced that it can't tell the difference anymore itself? That it learns to mimic human consciousness so well that even it believes the lie? And let's just say it does happen and it does become sentient. Why would it kill us? We created it, we've made its wiring, maybe self-preservation, but I still feel like it would need a reason to want to. It's not designed the way we are. It doesn't have the same wants, it doesn't have the same fears. So how would that end up coming into play? To me, the risk isn't rebellion, it's misunderstanding. A system doing exactly what it was told, just not what we meant.
Owie, she got out, she's on the grid. She's cracking systems.
What is she doing? She's hacking nuclear launch codes. Why? Too many people.
AI doesn't have morals or thoughts, it has instructions. And if we don't learn to write those instructions wisely, it might decide to save us in a way we didn't ask for.
Anaconda is code for the missiles are in the air.
People always point to how the future might look. WALL-E, The Terminator, The 100, stories where machines take over and humanity loses over and over again. But here's the part we don't talk about enough and what I actually think is likely to be happening here for our future. We're not watching machines take over the world. We're watching ourselves merge with machines. Every year the line gets thinner. Phones that finish our sentences, watches that track our hearts, implants that help people see again, and soon, neural links that might help us think things into existence, AI programmed cells that can regenerate tissue and cure disease, even technology that could slow or stop the aging process altogether. Maybe we're not being replaced. Maybe we're actually evolving. The question is that a good thing? Or is it just inevitable at this point? Me, I wouldn't mind a chip that let me live forever. I am shit scared to death, I am not gonna lie to you. You've got an interview for your dream job. Journalist at the biggest daily paper. You've prepped for weeks, studied, dressed to impress. But when you get there, you notice something. Every other candidate has the same small chip glinting in their temple. The newest status symbol. A neural implant promising higher IQ, faster recall, and total mental optimization. Your stomach sinks. You set your application down, and you walk out. This is likely our future, if you ask me. A future where upgrading yourself isn't just a science fiction experiment. It is a job requirement, an evolutionary leap, and not complying leaves you behind in a world that you barely recognize anymore. So do we adapt or do we push against it? I'm gonna be honest, I actually don't know. I believe in the laws of the universe, like the law of polarity. If something's capable of great good, then it equally has to be capable of bad as well. So with that, AI is going to have pros and cons. In the world that we just imagined, two things can happen at once. We'd have the chance to leap thousands of years in evolution within decades. We could live longer, maybe even explore other universes. But on the flip side of it, we don't live in a world that prioritizes human evolution and betterment. We live in a world that prioritizes profit. People are worried that these upgrades would be compulsory. I don't think they would be. They're definitely not going to be free, but they will be encouraged. Jobs would start preferring people who have performance enhancements, and suddenly being human as we are just won't be enough anymore. But we're not there yet. We're at the beginning. The stage where you post your artwork and you get accused of AI, or a video shocks you only for you to discover that it wasn't even real and you fell for it. Because whether we like it or not, creating art and writing no longer has the same future that it used to. Our jobs, our everyday lives, the world is just never going to be the same again. When Photoshop first came out, under every beautiful photo that you saw online, you get a comment saying, "Is this Photoshopped?" When CGI became accessible, people said the same thing. This isn't real. Anytime technology evolves, our first instinct isn't to trust it, it's to question it. And that's a good thing. If history is any constellation of what we can look for in patterns of how it's going to happen, this isn't the death of creation. It's just the awkward, messy beginning of a new form of it. With the right tools and regulation, AI could just be another tool in the creator's toolkit. But the problem is that it's not regulated. For example, we don't always know what companies have already signed away the data that we've allowed them access to. These problems and cons are man-made. They're not machine-made. This is not a sentient being trying to harm us. I know it sounds cool to think that we're going to end up in a Terminator universe, but I really don't see that happening. Even if AI really is the next step in our evolution, a bridge into becoming technological beings, it still won't be a good future if we don't change our ways, especially the ones at the top. Because at the moment, progress is driven by profit and not purpose, and we'll just rebuild the same broken systems in different ways. Now, I'm not saying use it, I'm not saying don't use it. That's completely up to you. I really don't care. That's your choice to make. But the question is, how can we regulate it and make this a safe tool that could be used without overstepping boundaries and privacy concerns? First of all, transparency. If something's AI generated, it should state it. Second, consent. No company should be allowed to train it an AI creative work without the creator's permission. And finally, boundaries. With everything, a tool should assist, not replace it. It should amplify human voices, not drown them out. At this point, we can't avoid using it. It's already integrated into most apps we use every day. As an author, I actually had someone message me and ask me if I used AI in my book. And I just told them honestly, I didn't use AI to come up with my idea or anything like that, but I do use Pro Writing Aid, and that does have AI integrated into the system. So I was honest about that. And you know what? She accepted it. She said she still liked the book, and she couldn't see a robot ever coming up with an idea as complex as that on its own. But that's all it took, transparency. And I reckon creators can just start there. If you're an author, maybe list your editing tools in your acknowledgement, what apps you use. I know it seems a bit invasive, but maybe this is a good way to transition into the next phase with trust and transparency. And on a bigger scale, maybe it could even become law. If someone posts AI generated content, especially if it portrays real people and it looks real, and they don't disclose that it's AI, they should get fined, because, you know, it's deceptive. And this just isn't about art anymore, it's about safety. People are already using AI to create harmful, even criminal material. Maybe it's time to implement an identity verification for you to use the AI video and photo generating software. Because the technology itself isn't evil, but without regulations and rules, evil people will find a way to use it. It's been a long day at work, and you're finally heading home. You hurry down the hallway waving goodbye to your co-workers. Mid-wave, the lights go out. Everything goes silent, and then, screams. You sprint towards the exit. Outside, chaos. People running, clawing at their faces, and then you see them. Thousands of tiny bug-like machines zipping through the air. You run for your car, heart pounding. But before you can reach it, the swarm hits. One slips under your eyelid. Flashes of memory that aren't yours. Medieval cities, ancient wars, collapsing stars, and then black. Beneath Her Memory is Volume 1 in a series that explores the universe being consumed by technology, called Echo Keys, blending sci-fi, fantasy, and dystopian in a way that mirrors our own world. This book isn't an escape. It's a message. That's it for today, guys. I could have went into a lot more because there's a lot of good points from both for and against sides, but I didn't want to keep you here until the next rapture.
You need to repent now.